Human flourishing is the pursuit of a fulfilling and meaningful life. This report will explore what it means, its historical context, and the factors that contribute to it. At the end of this lesson, the student should be able to identify different conceptions of human flourishing, determine the development of the scientific method and validity of science, and critique human flourishing vis-a-vis progress of science and technology to be able to define for themselves the meaning of a good life.
Eudaimonia, literally good spirit, is a term coined by famed Greek philosopher Aristotle, 383 to 523 BC, to express the peak of happiness that is attainable by humans. This has often been translated into human flourishing in literature, arguably likening humans to flowers achieving their full blossom. According to Aristotle, human happiness results from a variety of factors, including pronesis, friendship, wealth, and power, as discovered in the Nicomachean Ethics. The ancient Greeks held the view that obtaining these attributes would undoubtedly make the seeker happy, enabling them to participate in the larger concept of what is commonly referred to as the good. The components of human flourishing have evolved over time and are subject to the dynamic social history that has been authored by humans. People discovered ways to live in greater comfort, travel to new locations, create more goods, and earn more money, all while going full circle in the process. To make hunting and gathering easier in the beginning, early humans depended on crude machinery. They were able to create the larger and more advanced machines because of this discovery, which helped them in their pursuits of space travel, medical advancements, and experiments with life beyond death. Our concept of human flourishing today proves to be different from the Aristotle originally perceived. Then humans of today are expected to become a man of the world. He is supposed to situate himself in a global neighborhood, working side by side among institutions and the government to be able to reach a common goal. Coordination is the new trend. Competition as a strategy of survival is outdated.
It's interesting to note that Western and Eastern ideas about society and human flourishing diverge. It has been noted that Eastern civilizations are more community centric, whilst Western civilizations tend to be more individualistic. Therefore, Western civilizations are more concerned with the end of human flourishing than our Eastern ones. This is not to discredit our kinsfolk from the East, perhaps in their view. The community takes the highest regard that the individual should sacrifice himself for the sake of the society. The Confucian philosophy in China and Bushido philosophy in Japan both recognize that the total is greater than the sum of its parts. Both the Chinese and the Japanese valued education in the arts, sciences, and literature, not just for personal benefit but also for the benefit of society as a whole. Conversely, the Greek Aristotelian perspective nevertheless views eudaimonia as the ultimate good. Nevertheless, considering the current state of globalization, such preconceptions cannot be considered to be accurate. Which boundaries gave people complete access to cultures, if which only a small number are still able to uphold their original philosophical systems. In this sense, we would approach human flourishing from a global viewpoint and as a man of the world. The contributions of science and technology have been outlined in detail in the preceding chapters. Every success, invention, and discovery broadens the body of information that exists for humans. The constant need of humans to identify their place in the universe by locating evidence of their evolutionary history may be one of the most prevalent themes. The pursuit of learning the universe's secrets offers us with a response to the existential question and something to aspire to. Possessing a unique role that we identify with shapes our senses of importance. In this instance, the latter is relevant as a means of accomplishing the former or quoting Heidegger. Technology is an activity which humans flourish. As a result of achieving science, suffice it to say, the ultimate objectives of science technology, and human flourishing are interconnected. Since the good is always connected to the truth, the following are two ideas concerning science that challenge accepted notions of reality.
The majority of the time, science reputation is derived on the objectivity that comes from an arbitrary, strict process whose very nature absolves it from any charge of bias. The science lone claim to reason and empirism was elevated to a pedestal by this infamy, which attracted supporters eager to defend the science and its methods. The steps in scientific method in order is first, you need to observe and determine if there are unexplained occurrences unfolding. Then, second, determine the problem and identify factors involved. Then, after that, third, through past knowledge of similar instance, formulate hypotheses that could explain the phenomenon. Well, ideally, the goal is to reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative, which is the one we want to get. And it can also be separated into additional steps such as to generate prediction or to infer from past experiments. Then after that, the fourth one, conduct experiment by setting up dependent and independent variables and try to see how the independent ones affect the dependent variable. Then, after the experiment, you need to gather and analyze results throughout and upon culmination of the experiment and examine if the data gathered are significant enough to conclude results. Then finally, you need to formulate conclusion and provide recommendation in case other would want to broaden the study. The above practice is a standard procedure when presenting experimentation and empiricism to students, at least in their early years. There are two unique characteristics that set science apart from other schools of thinking. Over time, there have been strong oppositions to the scientific method. The distinction between science and pseudoscience has been increasingly blurred.
Verification theory argues that a discipline is considered scientific if it can be empirically verified or falsified. This emphasis on empiricism and measurable results was championed by the Vienna Circle in the 20th century. However, this theory has limitations, such as dismissing promising theories without sufficient evidence, and failing to differentiate between genuine explanations and coincidental ones. Additionally, verification theory can be influenced by personal biases, leading to interpretations that favor existing theories. For example, to verify the statement, "the cat is on the mat," one would need to look at the cat and observe its location. If the cat is indeed on the mat, the statement is verified. Essentially, verification theory emphasizes the importance of empirical evidence in determining the truth or falsity of a claim. The falsification theory, popularized by Karl Popper, a renowned philosopher of science, asserts that scientific theory must be capable of being proven false. This perspective led to the rejection of theories like Marx's theory of social history and Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis, which Popper considered to be untestable and therefore unscientific. If a theory withstands repeated attempts at falsification and can better explain a phenomenon than competing theories, it is considered to be a strong scientific theory. This theory has allowed for the emergence of theories that were previously rejected under the verification theory, which required theories to be proven true. Falsification encouraged research by promoting competition among theories and emphasizing the importance of rigorous testing. However, the falsification method can also be susceptible to biases. A scientist may interpret evidence in a way that supports their preferred theory. Additionally, there is no definitive rule for determining when a theory should be discarded based on the number of times it has been falsified. Overall, while falsification is a widely accepted approach in science, it is not without its limitations and challenges. For example, the theory all swans are white is falsified because the discovery of a single black swan would disprove it. On the other hand, the statement "God exists" is not falsifiable, as there is no conceivable evidence that could definitely disprove the existence of God. Falsification theory emphasizes the importance of testability and empirical evidence in science inquiry.
Science as a social endeavor. New school of thought championed by philosophers like Paul Taggart, Imre Lakatos, Helen Longino, David Bloor, and Richard Rorty argues that science is not solely a solitary pursuit but a social endeavor. This perspective challenges the traditional demarcation criteria based on methodologies and instead focus on the social context of scientific knowledge. It recognized that different cultures and communities have their own unique ways of understanding the world, and their sciences are equally valid. Even if they differ from Western science, this shift emphasizes the importance of shared experience and community in shaping scientific understanding and highlights the potential for science to benefit society in diverse ways. Science and results. People often become convinced of the value of science when it produces tangible results. Similar to the way religious miracles can attract followers, however, it points out that science is not the only discipline capable of achieving results, as religion, luck, and human randomness can also produce outcomes. In communities without access to science, divination and superstition may be used to achieve similar results. Additionally, the paragraph highlights the limitations of science, such as the inability of weather reports to predict disasters with 100% accuracy. It concludes that while science can be valuable, it does not have a monopoly in producing definitive results.
Science as education. Scientific method is not singular but rather a variety of procedures used by scientists to conduct research and produce scientific results. The discoveries in quantum mechanics have challenged the idea of objective reality, leading the concept of intersubjectivity. Despite this, the continued preference for science-inclined students in educational system is often reflected in specialized science high school and STEM programs. While these programs provide rigorous training in science and mathematics, they may also limit students' perspective and make them less receptive to criticism of science. A holistic approach to education encompassing not only scientific knowledge but also other intellectual virtues and dimension of human's flourishing is important by fostering a more diverse and open-minded education environment. We can encourage innovation and critical thinking, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and well-rounded society. So, how much is too much? The pursuit of growth, as outlined in the Millennium Development Goals, or MDG, is unsustainable and could lead to a catastrophic consequence for the planet. While growth and development are often seen as synonymous, excessive growth can deplete natural resources, damage the environment, and can exacerbate inequality. The rapid pace of technological advancement, which has been instrumental in driving growth, and exacerbating these problems of instead of striving for more growth. Development countries should adopt development policies to reduce their consumption and allow the planet to recover. If we continue in our current path, the author warns we may face extinction.
Human flourishing is more than just material success. While science and technology have contributed to our understanding of the world, they should not be the sole determinant of our goals. The economic emphasis on growth, fueled by technology, needs to be reevaluated. We should redefine a good life beyond the materialistic values promoted by science and technology.